there was this looming sense within me that it would have been great to have somebody there to share it with. And I think that's my life is pretty good. I'm extremely grateful, in fact, for where I'm at this age. But the one thing I'm missing is more people that I can feel like I really connect with. I have people that I meet day to day, and I have people that I do things with, especially in the basketball community and at university and stuff. But the number of people that I can be the Joel that I am on the podcast with is very few. But it's like, okay, well, would I rather trade my skills in and be more socially integrated, but not do the podcast and not have the thoughts that I have and the ideas I have? No, I wouldn't trade that for the world. So it's just at the cost of doing business. It's a feature of the game. It's not a bug. It's just how it works. And I know that through pursuing this path, I'll find people like I did, rekindling my friendship with you. You'll find people on the way that resonate. It's just a bit of a waiting game sometimes. And it's difficult when you have to go into environments where you don't resonate on that kind of level. And, they do find this side of me weird or abnormal. But that's life.
There was this very interesting clip that I saw from a podcaster called Mel Robbins. And she said there's something called the Great Scatter, which happens in society when everyone leaves uni and they all go their different directions and they all scatter from each other, and those friends that you've built up, and then you start to text and you try and move your relationship forward, but slowly those texts fade, and then it's your friendships are more based on convenience and area and things like that. And I feel like the solution for us and other people that are coming towards their end of the degree and things like that is to start setting up so that when you have that great scatter, you've got something to fall on. Like you've got friends that you're going to be continue calling weekly, and also like I look at my relationship with my mentor for an example, and I just I see myself after the degree being the same level of close with him, because we've built up this shared interests where we're part of a very small community of people that try and attempt these marketing stunts, and so that's kind of an example of me sort of setting up, like, I don't know, it's finding people that are like you, so like you that you wouldn't have a reason to stop talking.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, throughout secondary school, you're with the same group of people there and thereabouts for the 5 to 7 years that you'll be there. And you all have to be there because it's part of your education, and you form your social groups within that larger social group. And there are familiar faces and stuff, and you rub along and you make jokes and you get on in class and you help each other with your homework, and maybe you hang out on the weekends if you're like that real tight-knit group. And then that ends. This is something, it's become quite prevalent to me over the past year or two, is how convenient the access to a social scene school was. Because you all kind of bundled together. And then when you leave that environment, all the ones that you sort of hung out with because that's just how it was, you were kind of just thrust together and you got along, they kind of fade away. And it's only the people that want similar things to you and have a similar frame of mind and way of looking at the world that actually stay with you. And I like that a lot. I haven't heard that before. The Great Scatter is really nice.
She also said that it takes 200 hours spent together to make a close friend or something. That's ridiculous. That's a lot of time you need to spend together with someone.
Yeah, man. And it's because I think it takes time for all the filters and the facades to dissolve. That's what a real friend is. It's probably a great definition for it, is the person you have no filter around.
When you first make that move to let someone know who you are, I had that, and it's I remember having that 6 months ago, and when it's, I think there is a moment. I think you can convert a friend to a close friend with that one thing that really gets them to discover you on a deeper level and that they like.
Yeah, this year I had 3 1-hour sessions with a sports psychologist for free through this organisation called TAS. I think it's the Talented Athlete Scholarship Scheme. I think that's what it stands for. And I'd like to think he'd say the same, because he made comments similar to this when we finished our sessions. But because I was able to have a deep chat with this guy, like that's basically what it was. It was an organized deep chat around my psychological landscape when it comes to sport. I felt like I actually got quite close to him within that 3-hour period. It's almost like because I was able to open up and be honest, many of my filters that I would have initially with a stranger dissolve very quickly. So maybe that 200 hours rule is a good starting point or way of thinking about it. But it's how quickly maybe you pursue depth. You get through the small talk that you have with anyone, and actually maybe vulnerability and humility are a key to it. You know, pointing out to someone that the very human things about you, your weird idiosyncrasies and imperfections, and there's something reciprocal about that. You know, when you open up to me off and on the podcast, and I'm non-judgmental, and I take in what you say and I tell you the truth, then I reciprocate the same thing and tell you stories about my life that I wouldn't tell the average stranger. And then together you're kind of bonded in that. There's an emotional rope between the two of you because you've shared real deep insight about yourself that you wouldn't just share to everyone. There's an inclusivity in it. So yeah, I mean, real friends are hard to find and nurture.